Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that. Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video, I'm going to be explaining what makes a DBQ examination / DBQ insufficient. Also, I'm going to be providing some nuggets of how you can avoid these common mistakes. Make sure you stick around. Okay, so a lot of veterans are going out and getting private DBQs, examinations, DBQs, examinations, DBQs, DBQs, examinations. Also, veterans, they go to CMP exam for these same DBQs at their CMP examination. So if you go to a CMP examination, they're completing a DBQ, okay? So they have to follow or complete the DBQ the same way a private examiner does, okay? So before you go out and spend your hard-earned money, understand what makes a PTSD examination insufficient. And you know, I got you covered because I'm about to drop a lot of nuggets in this video. Let's go ahead and get into it. Slide number one. Here in slide number one, you guessed it, M21-1. The name of this M21-1, Handling Insufficient PTSD Examination Reports. Okay, when you go to a PTSD exam, CMP exam, or for any condition, when you go to that CMP exam, they are completing a DBQ. But a lot of veterans opt in to go out and have their mental health provider do a DBQ as well. You need to know what mistakes are commonly made. Let's go ahead and cover it. Reasons that a PTSD examination report may, okay, key word, may be insufficient for VA purposes include, okay? The assessment does not confirm a current diagnostic statistical manual of mental disorders, DSM standards, okay? So right now they use the DSM-5, okay? So this exam has to be completed per the DSM-5. Now, if you use a private doctor, if they don't know what the DSM-5 is, you might not want them completing your DBQ, the mental health examiner, okay? The next one, it does not identify or adequately describe the claimed stressor. Now, where can the doctor put this? In the remarks section of the DBQ or examination, or in the nexus statement or IMO, depending on how you're claiming it, okay? You have to have a stressor, and it has to be confirmed, okay? So if you saw somebody get killed in a train accident and now you have PTSD from that, it has to be confirmed that this individual had been killed. And this is going to come back into play here in a second, okay? The next one. The examiner did not discuss the significance of and reconcile any differential diagnoses or changes in diagnosis. Okay. Thus, the name that was given to me by a fellow veteran, my name is Dwayne. I got a video for that, Kimball. I just did a video on that. If the diagnosis changes, okay, what is supposed to be done or documented on that DBQ. So if you hadn't watched that video, make sure you go to my channel and watch it. It was just recent, maybe in the last couple of weeks, okay? The next one. The claims folder was not provided or the examiner did not review provided claims folder material. Now, this is how the VA contradicts themselves. Because there's another M21 manual reference out there, and guess what? I covered it in another video where it says the private examiner does not have to review any evidence. Now, if I was doing my claim again, I would make sure I had that VA claims folder to ensure that the doctor stated they reviewed something. Now, the VA CMP examiner, they have to review it. Okay, so if that DBQ comes back and that rater sees on there that they said that they didn't review it, that exam is insufficient and it should go back to that examiner. let's say they miss it, meaning the RBSR, and it's a negative opinion, and that doctor said that they didn't review your claims folder. Guess what? That's the argument on the high-level review. That's the nugget. Hope you caught it. I dropped it. Did you catch it? Okay. So, and this is for any condition. And I've seen this where examiner says, hey, I reviewed the VA claims folder and checked the box. And they turn around and said, oh, there's no documentation of treatment for the claim condition in service, negative opinion, less likely than not. If you have a copy of your claims folder, you follow me, been in any of my trainings, you know, oh, gotcha, high-level review, that's a lie. I got a copy of my service treatment records from the VA, and it shows treatment for this condition on this date, this date, this date. Therefore, that's how I know the C&P examiner did not review my claims folder. Huge nugget. And you can use that for any condition. That is the argument on the high-level review. And you can ask the DRO, hey, I need you to send an addendum back and have somebody review it and provide another medical opinion. Whoop, there it is. Okay, let's keep going. The examiner did not offer a requested comment or opinion. If the VA asks for opinion, it must be rendered. So think about this. If you're claiming depression secondary to, I don't want to say depression, but let's just say, I'm trying to think of PTSD secondary to something, but, or again, PTSD due to a non-combat event, right? They have to provide an opinion. If the opinion is not there, it's insufficient. So for private examiner, if you're claiming PTSD and your stressor is you saw someone get killed in a train accident, we'll just use that example, all right? They don't provide an opinion, it's insufficient. Okay, nexus statement or IMO, it is insufficient. Next, the examiner was not sufficiently qualified to render an initial diagnosis as specified in this particular M21. We're going to cover that a little bit later in one of the next slides. The examiner did not justify conclusion that an opinion could not be provided without resorting to mere speculation. You don't see that often. I haven't talked about mere speculation, but as a former rater, I've seen it. You know, so basically what they're saying, resorting to mere speculation, a lot more likely than not, 9 times out of 10, they're going to provide a negative opinion if they use that verbiage, okay? Or the examination was not conducted by a properly qualified examiner, okay? Which leads me to, nope, we're not going to cover it on this particular slide. It's going to be on the last slide, okay? So this M21 manual reference, it was kind of long, okay? So I had to put it on 2 separate slides. We're going to cover what I highlighted in red. The diagnosis of PTSD must be made by a competent, properly qualified medical professional. Okay, so on the previous slide, it talked about, what did it talk about? It talked about the examination was not conducted by a properly qualified examiner. Okay, or the examiner was not sufficiently qualified to render an initial diagnosis. Okay, let's keep going. Slide number 3. So how do you know if that examiner is qualified? It tells you right there on the DBQ. Look what I have in between the 2 red lines. People ask me, Dwayne, who's qualified to complete a mental DBQ? They don't take the time. They don't invest the time to go to the VA's website and look at the DBQ to confirm who can complete it. Guess where else you can find this information? The M21-1. It tells you who's qualified to complete a mental DBQ, okay? It is simple as that. You invest the time to get educated and you'll know. Our clients, they know. Our members in our membership group, they know, okay? So I dropped some nuggets in those slides. I hope you caught it. But keep in mind, this is the reason why I prefer education over representation. It's just me. Because even if you have somebody represent you and they don't know what makes a PTSD DBQ insufficient, and you don't know, it's like the blind leading the blind, right? Okay, so these are the things I'm talking about, these nuggets that I'm dropping in my videos, okay? So before you go spend a few $100s on a PTSD DBQ and examination, understand what makes it sufficient, okay? Also, I dropped a huge nugget where I gave you an example of a veteran that goes to a C&P exam for PTSD, gets a negative opinion, get a copy of that claims file, and they don't know what to look for. It's easy. So if you have a stressor, combat or whatever, and the doctor says, hey, they can't confirm that stressor, but they reviewed your claims folder, and that stressor is in there, and it's already verified because the VSR and rater has to verify that stressor before they even schedule the C&P exam. They have to verify it. If they can't verify to confirm it, the rater will deny it after all the development has been done, okay? So you have to take the time to think through this process and what you're doing, but it all starts with education, okay? So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, please share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.